of themselves, who are good and loving, competent parents and who did absolutely nothing wrong.
In the United States, every year, an estimated 30,000 babies are delivered stillborn. 60% of those stillbirths can't be explained, and many mothers end up feeling like their bodies betrayed them. In tonight's Storyteller segment, Carrie Pena takes an in-depth look at this issue through the eyes of a mother on a mission. And Carrie, this issue has been all over the news just recently.
Patty, just in the last few days, this has become a huge issue for a presidential hopeful. But the story begins here in Arizona with a woman who was determined to fight the system. She says it's a fight for grieving parents everywhere.
I had nowhere to turn, so I've just carried it around all these years.
For more than 20 years, Jeanette Wilson was haunted.
I blamed myself, for the longest time.
Back in 1984, Jeanette delivered a stillborn baby named Joseph. 2 years later, Jeanette got pregnant again, another boy who she planned to name Peter. But fate was cruel to Jeanette. Peter was also delivered stillborn.
I lost my two beautiful baby boys, Joseph and Peter.
No birth certificates were ever issued, only death certificates.
Nobody wants to acknowledge that you had a baby. You live with that inside you, and I've learned this by watching my wife, listening to her, watching her cry.
I think women have been shamed.
Joanne Cacciatore is a professor at ASU and founder of the Miss Foundation. It started as a support group for grieving parents, and over the last 10 years has morphed into an advocacy organization with 50,000 members nationwide.
It's for so many women who, like me, will be sitting on the closet floor at 3 o'clock in the morning feeling like they have to end their lives because they just can't go on.
In 1994, she delivered a stillborn baby named Cheyenne.
She died just minutes before she was born. And as I said, she was 8 pounds, 22 inches. They went on to say that you had a fetus and the fetus died, and you will not get a birth certificate. And I said, then how can you give me a death certificate? How can she die if she never was?
It's a controversial issue that some say cuts to the heart of the abortion debate. But Joanne says her mission was all about dignity for her daughter.
She was here briefly, but she was here, and she will make a difference in this world, and that even in death, people can continue to matter.
Joanne took her case to the state legislature. She wrote letters and lobbied then-Governor Jane Hall.
This isn't about me. This is really about a social movement that needs to happen.
In 2001, Joanne got the law changed first here in Arizona and then in coming years in 19 other states so that parents could receive stillborn birth certificates.
As many babies in the United States are stillborn as there are women who die of breast cancer or people who die of AIDS. Why are we not talking about this?
Recently, People magazine wrote an article about this crusader from Arizona, and the article received an overwhelming response. Grieving parents from all over the United States started calling and writing. Parents like Jeanette Wilson. She wanted to know if it was too late to get birth certificates for her two boys.
I just read your article yesterday in People magazine, and it took me back 23 years.
Our cameras were there the day these two mothers met at the Vital Records office in Phoenix. Jeanette feels the birth of her babies is finally validated after all of these years. And for Joanne, the journey continues.
It's the most genuine life you can lead to help others in their darkest days.
New Mexico would have been the 20th state to pass this bill that recognizes and records the birth of a stillborn baby. It's called the Missing Angels Bill. Last month, it passed in the New Mexico legislature with unanimous support. However, Governor and presidential hopeful Bill Richardson just vetoed the bill, and we've been hearing about this on the last few days, making a lot of news, very controversial. Patty, right now the bill is pending in 8 other states.
Yeah, it's just, you kind of go, what's the big deal? But in my mind, but boy, what a great lady Joanne seems like.
She's
a terrific person.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. It's a nice story. Thank you very much.